In today's episode, we're unboxing the Great White Skimmer from Dalua. Let's go check it out. Now, this is the Great White 7 or the GW-7 Protein Skimmer, and it's good for 700 liters or up to 180, 185 gallons. So this is what it looks like inside of the box. We have our skimmer up here. We have the skimmer collection cup right here. And in here, I believe is gonna be your DC pump. So first thing we see is the body of the protein skimmer. And then right next to that, we have the bubble plate for the protein skimmer and the collection cup. And we also have some tubing for the skimmer right here. And we also have what looks to be our DC pump right here. That's really cool. There's another hose right here. And then we have your instructions inside the box. All right, box is empty. We can get rid of that. Now, I've heard really great things about the Great White Skimmers from Dalua, and this thing looks super nice right out of the box. Let's get it out of the bag here. We can take a look at the body of the skimmer. Just a beautiful design for a skimmer. Now, what makes this protein skimmer different than some of the ones that I'm used to, or maybe the ones that you are used to, is that this ring across the top is the built-in air silencer. So no longer do we have that extra piece on the side. You're gonna make your adjustments to the air intake with this screw right here on the side. So that's really cool. Now let's take a look at the collection cup. Now this collection cup here, what makes it unique with Dalua is that they give you an extra wide, this is an extra wide cup from like their original designs, and that allows you to collect more foam in your cup. And you can see that it has the tabs here that lock it in place. So once you put it on the top, you just turn it to lock it in place. Step one, it looks like we are setting up the bubble plate to the DC controllable pump. Let's take a look in here. So this is the bubble plate. This is responsible for breaking up the water-air mixture that is being pumped into the skimmer and producing the bubbles that you see go up the neck of your skimmer. So this is Dalua's bubble plate design right here. Okay, the box. Let's take a look at the box. This is the skimmer pump inside the box right here. And this comes with your power adapters and your plugs to plug it into the wall. And it also has the DC controller right here. I'm very familiar with this type of controller, but this is Dalua's ecosystem. You can see it on the top there. And inside you have your Venturi. Check out this pump. This is an awesome looking DC controlled pump. This is responsible for pulling in the water, chopping it all up into those nice fine little bubbles that we enjoy having in the protein skimmer. So the first thing you want to do is set up your bubble plate with the DC controllable pump. And to do that, it's just a few simple steps. You're going to take this piece right here and we're going to screw that onto the actual pump first. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get the bubble plate to put on top of this, but you want to take out the screw in the middle because you have to open it up and lock this down using this piece right here. So what I mean by that is you're going to take your pump and you're going to take the bubble plate and you're going to put it right on top like this, and you want to kind of center it above your pump, kind of like that right there. And it might be better if I put this down, but once you have that pretty centered over your pump, we're going to take the nut right here and we're going to lock it down. So make sure I got that going the right way. I'm going to lock that down into place. And again, just hand tight on that as well. Show the camera here. So we're just taking that piece right here and just going to tighten that over. And again, you want this to be centered over the pump. So when you have it, it looks something like this right here when everything is said and done. So once you have that done, all you gotta do is line up your bubble plate, put that right on top, and then you're gonna get this screw right here, and we're gonna screw that down into place. And again, just hand tight is fine. You're gonna get that nice and tight. And your bubble plate is gonna be situated just like that. So now, on the base plate of your protein skimmer, you can see right here, there is a little gap, and that little gap right there is for the cord to kind of just sit right in there. So we're gonna put the pump as central located as possible. Now we're gonna get the skimmer body and we're gonna place that right on top. Make sure everything looks nice. And there's also a little gap at the bottom of the skimmer body for the plug to come through, or for the cable to come through. I'm gonna sit that on top, line up the holes, and that's where these guys come in handy. So we're gonna tighten it down. Now, before we tighten it down, you can see where the pump is right here. We're gonna take the venturi and we're just gonna push that in. You don't need a lot of pressure. I'm just gonna push that right in, and yeah, that's it right there. All right, cool, this is looking sharp. Now we just gotta get these screws in the base plate and hand tighten these guys down. We're almost there, guys, almost there. It's that easy of a process. So we're gonna tighten these down. So it's pretty easy to put together. Basically, you're just putting together the pump with the bubble plate. If you have had a protein skimmer before, that's basically what you're doing. You're setting up the pump inside the body, and then you're tightening down the base plate because you want it to draw on the water, mix the bubbles, and then push things up to your collection cup. Now, from here, all you have to do is get the hose that was included in the box, and you're gonna take that and you're gonna connect it to the silencer up here. You're gonna bring it down and around into this hole at the top, right here. You're gonna pull that down into the venturi line, and that is gonna do it for the setup, I believe. The next thing you wanna do is take your controller, and we're going to connect this right here to the pump, 3-pin to 3-pin, and you connect the controller like that. And then you tighten this down just like so. Very easy. Now this right here is going to connect to your power supply, and you just connect it just like this. And you're good to go with power. And of course, you got to get this plugged into here. That easy. All right, now it's time for the fun part. We're gonna get the collection cup on top of the protein skimmer and put it in the sump and see how this thing runs. And of course, the final step is getting the collection cup on top, and then you twist it to lock it in place. One last piece for the collection cup. You're gonna take this and it's gonna go on the bottom of the cup right here. All right, setup is complete. It's time to get it in the reef tank. Out with the old and in with the new. So we're gonna get this guy down here. Okay, so real quick before I install this right here is going to be your water level adjustment for the protein skimmer. So you can see right here you have a plus and a minus. So I just wanted to mention that before we get it in the sump. Take this guy off. So I'm gonna get this guy in there. Put it on for the first time, get some water going in it, and we're going over. Now listening to the protein skimmer right here, I hear the water trickling into the sump, but not the protein skimmer. It is extremely quiet, and I think it's all due to that new silencer design, and I really like that. All right, so it's in the sump now. I just gotta make some adjustments, fine tune the bubbles and get it all set up. Controller here is going to increase the water that's being pumped into the protein skimmer by hitting the plus right here. So of course you have the on off button, the F for feed mode, and then you have your plus and minus to increase how much the pump is pumping in the skimmer. All right, so I might be happy with that level right there. We will see as it breaks in and starts to work right and see if there's any more fine tuning that I need to do. But if we take a look at the controller, you'll notice that I have it set currently at 15. I might need to do less than that. We will see as time goes on. But if you increase the pump, it goes all the way up to 20. And according to Dalua, you do not have to run it at max. Most people are running around 16 or less depending on your sump, but you just want to use that to make adjustments to your skimmer. Right now I have some bubbles in the neck right there. I may have to adjust the water level that it's sitting in because right now it is a little bit high, so I may need a platform to kind of raise that up. But overall we will see how it goes as it breaks in and as we give it time to actually start working. So here's the skimmer a day after installing it, and we have it starting to kick in here. You can see a little more fine adjustments will be made, but it is starting to get to work. Well, the great white skimmer is in place and it's set up and ready to go, and it's working already. So I'm excited to see how it performs on the 125-gallon reef tank. And if you've enjoyed this video, then I know you're gonna love this video right here. Go ahead, click or tap your screen to watch that. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and happy protein skimming, and I'll see you in the next video.